So you've built the CRM system and you have your accounts, you have your contacts, you have everything you need inside of that system, but you don't know what to do with the data now. You've got everyone's email. What are we going to do about it? Well, we need to email market to them and we need to set it on automation so that we're not so busy doing that we can't get anything else done. So I'm going to go through some slides here and we're going to talk about the email marketing situation and how to manage that and master it for your business. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and show you what I've got here. And we're going to talk about improving your marketing campaigns and using automation to do so. All right, so let's get going on our next slide. All right, so we're going to overview the email marketing system. We're going to look at the email marketing automation side, and then we're going to look at some examples of that. And I'll recap everything at the end. All right. All right, so email marketing automation is defined as a software or a tool that allows marketers to automate repetitive tasks like email sending, workflows, and much more. And benefits of email marketing automation include increased efficiency and abilities to segment and personalize the messaging system. And so you'll get improved analytics out of that. All right. So here's a few tips to get started with email marketing automation. We're going to go from the left side down, and then we'll go to the right side and look at those. So first, you need to define your goals. Defining your goals to determine what you want to achieve with the email marketing automation, like increasing your sales or reducing costs, that should be determined prior to even planning out or while you're planning out your email marketing. So you need to pay attention to that. And once you've figured that out, you need to integrate your email and your CRM platforms together. So if you're with Gmail or Google G Suite or Microsoft 365 or Zoho, anything like that, you need to make sure everything's integrated so that when you're ready to send the emails, everything's good to go with that side. All right. So connect your email service provider with your customer relationship management system for the data flow. Next, you want to segment your list. So you need to divide your contacts into groups based off their behaviors, their demographics, or whatever it is that you segment them and classify that contact as. All right. And then on the other side, here on the right side, we want to create the automated workflows. So this takes a little bit of brain mind mapping. What I like to do is get on a piece of paper. I draw a circle around inside of the middle of the piece of paper, and then I attach how I am going to get things done with my mapping. So, how that works with automated workflows, you need to know what sources your data is coming from, and then you need to know where the data is going to go or where you want the data to go. And then from there, you can make like a flow chart. So, you start with mind mapping, then you go to flow chart, and then that could help you make out your workflows, or actually, it will help you make out your workflows because it's better to see it on paper instead of guessing when you get to the program and you're putting everything in disorderly array. So, moving on to the next one would be to test and optimize. So, you always want to test and see what works better, what content is good, what wording is good, what wording don't they like, where don't they click when you put certain things and elements inside of your email marketing campaign emails. A good way to do this is to do A B tests. A lot of email marketing campaign systems or CRM systems will have A and B tests where it allows you to launch two different types of email campaigns to see which one is going to do better or which one does better. And that's a very easy tool to use. You just need to duplicate your campaign, switch it up a little bit, change the image, change the wording, same message, but just a different way to get there. All right. And on our next slide, let's talk about avoiding the pitfalls. All right. So the first one is you don't want to just send out emails after you've created them and not look at the wording and the grammar and everything. And you want to send it to yourself to make sure the formatting is good and that it comes out so well. You know, when I first started marketing and doing things like that for my company and automating, I would send out emails and sometimes they would come back messed up because I didn't send out the test emails to check and see if the framing was right or if the HTML code that I put in there was good, or you need to check your links to make sure they actually work. All of that is super important. The next one would be to check contact info and the accuracy. Who are you going to send to when the contact is messed up and not right? And that's just not good. You want to make sure that you're checking the accuracy, making sure everything is good, and then you'll be able to actually send to them if the email's bad, if the addressing's bad. So you don't want that. That's just going to be bad and it's just going to return and bounce back. Okay. The next is to personalize the content. So, one thing I hate seeing is when people send emails out and it says things like, hi, customer, or hey there, and doesn't really address the customer directly with their first name. I think that's terrible. I don't like addressing people in my email as their company name. If you're sending to a direct person, you want to make sure that you enter their name in the beginning sentence, like good afternoon, so and so, hi, blah, blah, blah. And you want to talk to them directly. So don't use generic names when you're addressing your customers. And it looks like spam when you send that. So don't do that. That's a big no no. Okay. So in a lot of these CRM systems, mail systems are going to have merge fields, and that's merge tags. Or I'm sorry, merge fields are fields that are predetermined fields like first name, last name that you insert into the wording, and it will populate that field for you with that person's name. Very smart to use that, and I would use that for more than just the name in the system. Okay. So, mobile response design. We talked about sending out test emails earlier about how the formatting doesn't come out right sometimes. So, this is really big when you're sending email marketing campaigns and not everyone is opening them up on the desktop computer where it's a big wide screen, big wide view, right? We're talking about a phone that's, this size, and we need to be able to format that content for that phone. If you have too much wording, no one's going to want to scroll for hours and hours and hours to basically read all of your information. They're just going to ignore it. Way too much text, and you need to get straight to the point and get them what they need as far as information in that email. Okay. Here's the next one is to follow the can spam regulations. So anti-spam laws have grown over time because email marketing spam and phishing and malware have grown as well. And so you need to be careful about how you send the emails out and sending bulk emails. Recently Google just cracked down on how they deal with bulk emails, and it's been hurting a lot of marketers that use the G Suite platform or Gmail platform to send out their marketing emails. So you want to be familiarized with the policies and the rules of the company that you're using, as well as the laws for anti-spam, because you could get yourself caught up in those, and then your emails get blocked off by the recipient's systems because of that. Also, if a recipient has a really good security on their email systems, for instance, you're sending to businesses, they're most likely going to have high spam blockage. So if you can't get your emails out, or you're getting them out and you're not getting the response back, or they're getting bounced back, they could be getting caught up in their anti-spam rules on their email servers. Okay. So the next, you want to analyze and refine. So you want to continuously look at your key performance indicators and look at what your demographics are reacting to on your email marketing. If you just keep sending out the same type of email marketing and no one's clicking on it, and you're not looking at that, you won't even know. So you definitely review your results when they go out and make sure you know how your content is being interacted with and clicked on. So you want to know what buttons they're clicking on, what parts of the page they're scrolling on, if they're even looking at the email. All of these go back into your key performance indicators, and it will help you in the future when you're releasing email marketing campaigns. All right. So let's get over to our next slide. And we just want to recap here some best practices. All right. Personalize those emails, don't make them generic. You want to focus on mobile optimization. We just talked about the formatting and making sure that it's responsive, meaning that your content will responsively curate inside of the phone's format. And you need to leverage the automation of those. So knowing, KPIs, key performance indicators, will help you along as you go. And then test and refine. So always test, send yourself test emails before anything goes out. Scan it, grammar, language, tone, everything. Make sure it looks great, photos, all of that stuff before you send it out to your customer. All right. So you're going to need to do that. It's very important. Here's some examples, and we want to look at some design examples. For instance, on the first one, there's a product launch email. So it's a pretty lengthy email if you're looking at it, where an email is announcing the launch of a new product line with images of the products and details about features. So this particular email doesn't have images, but it has very extensive detail into the product itself. And so it's a very informative email. It's a little bit longer. This may or may not get read by mobile users as much as desktop users, just because the desktop users have a larger screen and can see more of the data. So product launch emails, take it with a grain of salt. They may not be read at all by mobile users, and you might lose a huge amount of content readers because of that. So be careful sending very long product emails. A trick I like to use, and not a trick, but just a method I like to use, if I'm going to have a product launch email, what I will typically do is have a landing page for the product and then have a brief email explaining the product and getting them over to the landing page. And that I can cover in other webinars in the future. But that's a way to shorten your email and then get the information to them at length, getting them to a website page or a squeeze page where they can opt in to that product. The other one is holiday promotions. So these are very themed. These could be, holidays. It could be anything like a special event that has a theme to it. And this particular example is just emails promoting a holiday sale with discounted prices and free shipping, featuring the festive images that go with them. So if it's Thanksgiving, you usually see a turkey or themed Thanksgiving emails. And if it's like Christmas, same thing. On this next one here, we're looking at a particular situation where it's a webinar invitation. So this is a very short email with a picture of the webinar presenter, and that tells us a few things. So it tells us who's presenting it, it tells us what's being presented, and then it gives the details in the small box there. You see the design where it's highlighted in purple because the maker of the email wanted you to pay attention to the time in the day that it's coming, and as well as some bullet points about the highlights of that meeting. So this is a good example of getting straight to the point and then highlighting what you really want the viewer to see. And so that'll give them an insight on the educational webinar. All right. So that's great. Now, talked about measuring results. We talked about KPIs, the key performance indicator. You want to look at open rate, who's opening them. If they're getting sent down, they're not being opened, waste of time, right? We want to switch it up a bit. And looking at your click-through rate. So looking at what they're doing, who's clicking on the buttons, who's clicking on the opt-in links. Are they clicking on them? If not, why? We want to dive deeper, and this could go into A/B testing, where you put your links at, where you put your buttons at, how you get them to opt in, and think about how you build your landing pages. This could be change. It could change your click rate or click through rate on your content. Okay, so we covered some basics and we went a little bit more into detail about what to do with email marketing. I will dive deeper and open up different email marketing systems and look at how to operate those. We use, particularly here, we use Zoho one, and that has the marketing automation embedded in that license as well. And so that's one of the first CRM systems I'm going to open up and show you the marketing automation inside and show you how that works, how it's syndicated, how to segment lists specifically, and how to classify your audience for your email marketing campaigns. So until next time, I am so glad y'all joined. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay tuned in on these webinars that I'm going to be presenting. And some will be webinar, format, and some won't be webinar format. But definitely tune in because there's tons of good information. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.